Today we start with the topic that is research design. It is very important and intensive part of the research. Here we have studied that we have certain research. Research is one of the main step of it to conduct the research, that is research design. So basically, what is research design? Research design is a set of advanced decisions that make up the master plan specifying the methods and procedure for collecting and analyzing the needed information. We have different methods which we want to adopt to pursue with our research. So research design is basically that where we have to set certain method, we have to use which method we want to study so that we can further continue with our research. So research design mainly has two types, that is exploratory research design and conclusive research. And when we talk about exploratory, that is like we want to explore something new. Then we go with exploratory design, and next we have conclusive research. When we want to come to a certain conclusion, we want to conduct with conclusive research. Further, exploratory research is divided into quantitative as well as qualitative research, and conclusive research is divided into descriptive research and causal research. Next, descriptive research is further divided into cross-sectional and longitudinal research, and cross-sectional is further divided into single cross-sectional and multiple cross-sectional. So we're going to study these research design in detail in the next subsequent slides. Firstly, we see what are the main objective of research design. First objective of research design is that good research design is the first rule of good research. You have to certainly put some efforts to design a very good research design so that further will not you will not face any difficulty. Knowledge of the needed research design allows advanced planning so that the project may be conducted in less time and typically at a cost saving due to efficiencies gained in pre-planning. When you plan a good research designer, you will actually have lesser time to spend, you will have less cost to spend. That means you are certainly going with the time and the low cost saving equipment. The main objective of research design are to gain background information and to develop hypothesis. You want to go with the detailed information, you want to set a statement, you want to go with the research hypothesis that certainly set statements for uh, uh, that certainly sets statements for checking the fact between two or more variables, to measure the state of variable of interest, to test the hypothesis that specify the relationship between two or more variables. So basically you have to see what is the background information that is available to you, what hypothesis you want to set, how do you want to measure your variables, and how which relation you certainly want to check between two or more variables. The first one is exploratory research design. It is defined as collecting information in an unstructured and informal manner. For example, when you are reading your periodicals, when you are visiting computer premises, that means you are going with exploratory research and descriptive research where you want to study very deeply. You want to go the in-depth analysis with your methods and procedures that describe marketing variables like who, what, why, and how questions. For example, consumer attitude survey to your company services. So when you want to explore something new, you want to discover something new, you will go with exploratory research design. And you when you want to portray with a certain answers why your product has been liked by certain customers range, that means you want to go with descriptive research design. The next is causal research design. It allows us to isolate causes and their effects. Causal research is conducted by controlling various factors to determine which factor is causing the problem. You want to check which factor certainly cause the problem to another variable. So by changing one factor, say price, we can monitor its effect on sales. In other words, causal research design allows us to determine causality or which variable is causing another variable to change. These causal research design always depend upon linear variable relationship. If there will be change in one variable, certainly the second variable will also show some change, whether it is positive or in negative manner. Next is exploratory research design in detail now. Exploratory research is usually conducted at the outset of research projects. It is usually conducted when the researcher does not know much about the problems. Exploratory research provides insights into comprehension of an issue or a situation. So, whenever you don't have anything but you want to draw some definite conclusion on some extreme caution, you want to go with exploratory research design. So, for example, many studies conducted related with COVID-19 because it was a new phenomenon which every person was following, every person was facing. So that means when you conduct a research regarding something new which you doesn't have any new idea, that is you are conducting with exploratory research. Exploratory research, as a name implies, intends merely to explore the research portions and does not intend to offer final and conclusive solutions to existing problems. This type of research is usually conducted to study a problem that has not been clearly defined yet, conducted in order to determine the nature of the problem. Exploratory research is not intended to provide conclusive evidence but help us to have a better understanding of the problem. When conducted exploratory research, the research ought to be willing to change his or her direction as a result of revelation of new data and new insights. So when you are not sure about a problem yet you want to conduct a study, that means you are going with exploratory research. Exploratory means you want to explore something new. Exploratory research design does not aim to provide the final and conclusive answer. You never come to any certain conclusion while you're conducting exploratory research design, but merely explore the research topic with varying levels of depth. It has been noted that exploratory research is the initial research which forms the basis of more conclusive research. It can help in determining the research design, sampling methodology, and data collection method. When you actually go with this exploratory research, you are following many more methods in the following period. Exploratory research tends to tackle new problem on which little or no previous research has been done. Unstructured interviews are the most popular primary collection method with exploratory research. Next is why do we use mixed method? Quantitative data and qualitative data are both a classification of exploratory research. Firstly, see what is quantitative data. Quantitative data can reveal generalized information for a large group of people. Quantitative research is expressed in number and graphs. When you study some numbers, certain facts, certain figures, certain graphs, that means you are studying something that is quantifiable. It is used to test or confirm theories and assumptions. This type of research can be used to establish generalized facts about a topic. Common quantitative methods include experiments, observation recorded as numbers, and surveys with closed-ended questions. When you go with these certain quantitative method, you can go with the surveys where you can ask closed-ended questions. The data produced are always numerical and that they are analyzed using mathematical and statistical methods. If there are no numbers involved, then it is not quantitative research. The next is qualitative research. It provides data about meaning and context regarding the people and environment of study. Qualitative research is expressed in words. It is used to understand concept, thoughts, or experiences. When there is no involvement of words or figures, then you go with the qualitative research. This type of research enables you to gather in-depth insights on topics that are not well understood. Common quantitative methods include interviews with open-ended questions, observation described in words, and culture reviews that explore concepts and theories. Let's see, both methods have strengths and weaknesses, but when used together, these methods can be complementary. It is not right that you don't have to go with only one method. You can actually use a mixture of these two methods. So when you are actually studying some research regarding any problem, you can opt for qualitative as well as quantitative method because it will give you some better results. Now let's see what is difference between these two basic methods. The first difference is objective. If we talk about qualitative research using exploration and in more academic orientation studies, theory development based on inductive approach has been followed. And if we talk about quantitative research, usually theory verification based on deductive approach has been followed. If you talk about number of research units, quantitative research has one to several, and quantitative research where you have more quantity, you can go with several dozen to several hundreds. Method of selecting research units. Purposeful sampling is for qualitative research, and for quantitative research, representative sampling is available. For qualitative research, data collection method is flexible, usually multiple sources. And if we talk about quantitative research, these methods are very rigid and usually have one source. So if we talk about data analysis on the part of qualitative research, really applying statistical techniques are available. And if you talk about some quantitative research on the basis of data analysis, relying on statistical techniques have been always their main agenda. For examples, the following are some examples of studies with exploratory results in business studies. A study into the role of social networking site as an effective marketing communication channel. When do you want to study that why Facebook and Insta are there to increase the sales of your product through advertisement in there? That means it is one of the best method to pursue with the communication channel. If you want to study these agendas, that means you are following exploratory method and investigation into the ways of improvement of quality of customer services within hospitality sector in Amritsar, and assessment of role of corporate social responsibility on consumer behavior in pharmaceutical industry in India, to identify and explore concept in development of new product or forms of marketing communications during a preliminary screening process, such as a new product development, in order to reduce the large number of possible projects to smaller number of whatever one you are using exploratory research to identify relevant or salient behavior patterns, belief, opinions, attitudes to develop structure of these construct you are using exploratory research method. Advantages of exploratory research: it adopt very flexible in nature, it is very flexible in nature, and it is adaptable to change. Exploratory research is effective in laying the groundwork that will lead to further studies. It is very basic. This method is that when you want something new, you want to study something new, that means it is very low down to groundwork. Exploratory studies can potentially save time and other resources by determining at the certain earlier stages the type of research that are worth pursuing. Disadvantages of exploratory research: exploratory studies generate qualitative information and interpretation of such type of information is subject to the biasness of the researcher. These type of studies usually make use of modest number of samples that may not adequately represent the target population. Accordingly, findings of exploratory research cannot be generalized to a wider population. Finding of such type of studies are not usually useful in decision making practical level. Sometimes we can see that because we have such a small sample which are actually representing the total population, so it is not adequate when we talk about these studies. The method should be very in detail. Methods of exploratory research. Exploratory research can be performed using a literature search, surveying certain people